Welcome to the ShootingIsBelieving.com assembly video for the Barnett Ghost 350 Carbonlite Crossbow. We're going to take you through the step-by-step process of unpackaging this crossbow and assembling it. It is a great little bow. It's 7.5 pounds, shoots up to about 350 feet per second, so we're real excited to get it out on the range. But first we're going to pull it out of the box and put it together and take a look at all the key components as we go. Like all Barnett crossbows, it comes in a fairly nice package. Everything is nice and secure when you open it up. Nothing's getting beat up on shipping. So we're going to pull the top off here and take a look what's inside. First thing you see is the stock, and it is camo. It's the Rural Tree APG camo pattern, and it's a real attractive stock. It's lightweight as well. The stock probably just weighs a couple pounds. We didn't throw it on the scale, but it really does not weigh much, and that includes the rail that's on it for the scope. As you turn it around, you can see that it has a cheek pad on both sides, so whether you're left-handed or right-handed, and it does have the thumb hole and a pistol grip. It is a very comfortable stock to hold on to and shoot, and it just looks really good overall. It's well built, as is typical with Barnett products. The owner's manual is in there, and it has some assembly tips. There's really not much in that owner's manual, but it's a good thing to look through. This particular kit comes with 3 arrows. These are the Barnett Carbon Headhunter arrows. You do not get any tips with them, so you'll have to pick up some practice tips and then decide which kind of broadheads you want to use. We'll set those aside, and then this particular kit also comes with a cross 3x32 scope, and it's nothing fancy, but it's got your 20, 30, 40, and 50 yard pins built into it, and it works fairly well. It's a compact little scope, which adds to the continued theme here of keeping everything lightweight. It probably weighs less than a pound itself, and it's got your adjustments. It's just your standard scope, and from what we've experienced with these little scopes on crossbows, they work very well. It's got a quick mount system there. We'll put the caps back on and put that aside, and then we'll go ahead and take this piece off to get to the lower section of the box. And as you look down in there, you'll see the riser. This is a carbon riser, and it's very cool looking. You can see the carbon weave in it. One thing to note, the limbs are not carbon. They're standard limbs, but still this is very light. It's got fairly small cams, but they seem to work well, as this bow does typically shoot right up to around 350 feet per second on most chronographs. So it's very fast and very light, very well built. This looks like it is an extremely well thought out, well engineered riser. It does come with a quiver. This quiver holds 3 arrows, and it snaps on the front of the bow, or the stock, as we'll show you in a minute. It also comes with the rope cocking device. This is Barnett's cocking device, and we'll show you how to use that when we get on the range with this particular bow. All the extra pieces, the cable slide and spare arrow retainer, are located over here. You have some Allen wrenches, which you'll use, and you also have the screw that attaches the riser to the stock, which we'll go over in just a minute here. It does come with some lubricant here for the cable slider, which we'll use in a moment here. You want to put a little lubricant on there. And also in this package you have the Allen wrench that you're going to use on the screw, and you have the screw and the lock washer again that mounts the riser to the stock. Also included in this package is the cable slide, and that's a critical part of the assembly here. We'll show you how to install that in just a second. But there's the cable slide, and you'll notice it's concave on one side, and it's got a couple grooves in it, and it's going to be important to get that in with the concave side up and the top string in the deepest groove. And again, we'll show you how to put that together in just a moment. So we're going to grab the stock, and we're going to flip it upside down here and attach to the quiver. It's pretty slick. The mount comes pre-installed on the stock, so there's nothing for you to do there other than clip this baby on. It only holds 3 arrows, but with this bow, hopefully one shot's all you're going to need. So we'll turn it back over, and then we're going to grab the riser, and we're going to go through the process of installing the riser here. So get that sitting up there, and again, having the quiver on there makes it a nice stable platform to do the riser installation. And you'll see, looking at the stock, that it has a stud at the end that's dead center, and on the riser you've got the female end. So Barnett makes this real easy to get this on there square. There's a couple rails that come off the riser as well that slide down each side of the stock. So getting everything lined up perfectly square is real simple. Here's the cable slide again. You'll see the grooves, and you want to make sure that the top string is again in the deepest groove, and you want the concave side up. So we're going to slide this on the strings, and you're going to be a little off center. You got to be just past where the strings cross. And as mentioned, we did get some lubricant with this. We're going to put a little bit on the cable slide. That makes everything just work that much easier. So we're going to slide this cable slide down on the strings, and again, one last time, make sure that that top string's in the deepest groove. That just keeps the pressure equal. So you just want to work that, and you can actually push down on the lower portion of the stock where it's split there, and it makes it a little bit easier to get this slide in there. It's pretty tight actually. So once you get the slide in there and the strings on there, we're going to go ahead and push the riser up against the stock, and it sits in there pretty snug without the bolt in. Make sure everything's lined up, everything's square, and then go ahead and flip it over and grab your bolt. Make sure you got your lock washer on there, and we'll go ahead and get that started. And then we're going to go ahead and grab the Allen wrench, and you're going to see that the way it's set up, you have to stick the long end down to the bolt, and that actually helps assure that you don't over tighten this. They don't give you any foot-pound specs from Barnett that I know of, but it's probably about 12 to 15 foot-pounds, I would guess. Just snug. You definitely don't want to get it over tight. You could damage the riser. And again, everything's pulling back against the stock from the riser, and with the rails on it, it's pretty secure without the bolt, but obviously the bolt's got to be in there. Just get it good and snug. So it's a fairly long-winded bolt, so it's going to take us a second to get everything tightened up there, but we got her in there. We'll just put a little bit more pressure on it just to make sure it's snug. And that bolt is something you want to check every time you go out and shoot, just to make sure that it's good and snug. So we're going to flip this back over, and as you can see, it's a pretty impressive looking package. The riser, again, carbon fiber, looks really good. The camo pattern's great on the stock, and the composite limbs, the laminated limbs, are fairly short, so the whole package is compact. Now we're going to grab the cross scope. It's 3x32. You know, the scope's nothing fancy, but it works well for these crossbows. It has the 20, 30, 40, and 50 yard pins, which we'll go over when we get out on the range. And it's just got a couple screw fasteners there to attach it to the rail. This is a standard rail, which accepts almost any type of AR-15 accessories. But for this purpose, we're going to put the scope on there, and we'll get her positioned there. For right now, we're just going to put it dead center. You can probably move this when you're out sighting your crossbow in to get the right amount of eye relief and get it situated for yourself. But right now, we're just going to throw it on there dead center, and when we get out to the range and do some shooting with this, we'll dial it in a little bit better as far as the location. So scope's on there, and this thing really just is an impressive bow for the money. You can pick these up for around $600, and a year ago this bow came out, and it was the hottest thing on the market, really. And it is also built in the USA, which is great. Barnett does a great job. They've came out with some faster bows now, but for the money, it's hard to beat. And there's some competitors out there that have bows that are a little bit faster, but a lot more money. So for the money, I think this is probably one of the better products we've reviewed. And it's so well built, and it's impressive that Barnett does assemble these in the United States, which is really nice. And a couple other key facts about this bow is that it's actually got 175-pound draw weight, and it produces 116 foot-pounds of energy. So it's got some knockdown power. It's got a 12-inch power stroke, and like we said at the beginning of this video, it shoots up to about 350 feet a second, and that's pretty consistent. Only weighs 7.6 pounds, and the overall length is 37 inches, and it's only 24 inches wide. So it doesn't have a lot of swing weight. It's real easy to carry, real easy to shoulder and shoot. It takes 20-inch bolts. Definitely takes some velocity with those bolts coming out of there at 350 feet per second, and it can do quite a bit of damage. So that's it for the Barnett Crossbow the Ghost 350 Carbonlite. Thanks for watching our video, and look for future instructional videos, and be sure to check out our website at ShootingIsBelieving.com.